our higher purpose. Now, when it comes to looking at liabilities as our assets, we need to realize that this is liabilities to begin with. We are considering it as an asset. So in other words, let's say we're using a condiment with our French fries, and let that condiment be mustard, or let's say we're using ketchup. We need to use that sparingly, as much as it's important, because it is a condiment that makes the food taste better. We cannot be using that as the main dish. In other words, you can be putting things in the ketchup to eat, but it's like you'd have to use the ketchup as a complement for the food. In other words, if we focus on the weakness of the business, or coming down to when you're building a person, if we use the person's weakness and the person goes on dwelling on their long-term shortcomings, what happens is it's going to become an impediment, and you won't even begin anything. Forget building. The whole process of building will not happen when we focus on that. That much on liabilities, especially if they are long term. They're here to stay, and therefore using them for that long. For instance, if there's a pickle, they're here to stay. This is a condiment that's here to stay. We can't all use it in one day. Likewise, so when we're talking about even the assets, right, the building is here to stay. You can't say that for every operation that the factory is involved in, that the building will have to be revamped. It is here for many more of these operations. Likewise, our weaknesses, they're here, they're short term, and then they're long term. Somebody's temperamental. There's two types. They are for always temperamental is one thing, or they're temporarily mad about something. These are things that are part of every individual. To that extent, we allow room for it, but we don't allow it to linger. And that is perhaps what we are recognizing the fact that there is I've often said this in my videos, that there is a snake in the house is the first step. Eliminating it is the second step. That might even take longer, but just we need to tread carefully is what part of the mindfulness workshop is. And therefore, when we are working with individuals, we cannot completely ignore their weakness. We cannot completely over-focus on it, is the purpose of this video. And we will go into further, how is it that we are trying to build this person? The first process is learning. We've learned the weakness, and now we've taken the first step in building, which is we know that it has to be used sparingly as a condiment. Now the next level will be, how do we build upon these to our advantage? Because we are part of it. That comes to us as a package deal. We might as well use it to our advantage. Thank you.